Hello everybody, welcome to the Steckline Report. We're reporting from Ag Day, and I got to tell you, a very special guest coming up in 60 seconds. Stay tuned.
My grandfather came across the plains from Missouri in the 1860s and ran a hotel and stage stop here with livery stable, and it's been in the family ever since. We run probably about 100 cows here and 250 over at the other ranch. I'm sure there are other banks we could have dealt with, but they've been so friendly and know what the ups and downs are in the business. American Ag Credit is like a family for us for financial help.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the little red tractor from Case IH, the Farmall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Straub International can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horse ranging from 30 to 140, plus an army of attachments, a Farmall can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and towing, and then some. Visit Straub International, your Case IH dealer at any of our 7 locations to find a Farmall that's right for you.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Steckline Report with a very special guest. The governor of the state of Kansas is with me, Sam Brownback. And Governor, we've had a big Ag Day at Wellington, Kansas, and boy, it was fun.
It was, and what a good time for me. I mean, I get a lot of diverse problems, but when I can get back to my agriculture roots, that's a lot of fun.
I'm going to reiterate a couple of the questions that we ask you at Ag Day, and one is a concern about water. This particular program goes nationwide. We have a lot of tune-ins from California, and they're suing people for water, and Colorado's got a problem. There's so many states suing everybody. It seems to me like we're going to run out one of these days.
Well, what you're seeing is the great competition for water growing. I mean, and people have been predicting this for a long period of time, yes, Larry, but I think what you're doing is now you're seeing the reality of it. The prices of water are going up, whether it's water that you've got on your land and associated with the land, or separating that water right and selling it off. Water is just becoming more precious, and we've got to treat it as something more precious. I mean, we've got to protect it, and I think we've got to be much more judicious with it moving forward.
Something I worried about is the irrigators who someday may have to shut off their wells, but you had a nice answer for that.
Well, we repealed the use it or lose it water law doctrine a couple years ago, which we should have done a long time ago. That was a development policy. You don't have to use your water right or you lose it. And we've got these local intensive management areas where a group of irrigators can go together, bind each other to a reduction that they can live with, but only they can do it to each other, as a way of conserving and extending that Ogallala, which is so critical to us.
We had a pretty good wheat crop in about 2/3 of the state of Kansas. That's got to help your tax dollars.
It does, and it's beautiful crop too. I hope we can get some fall crop, but our farm was pretty good. We had some places in eastern Kansas that sowed a lot of wheat that doesn't normally do that because it was so dry last year, and it looks like it had a pretty good harvest.
What about the Farm Bill? What do you think is going on in Washington?
Well, it is a tough season in Washington. The place is broke, financially broke. I mean, it's difficult for people to get along, but just financially, there's no money. So all the answers are bad anymore, Larry. And I think that's what you're seeing is a normal farm bill is an easy piece of legislation, typically. But this one, because of the lack of money, it's all becoming difficult.
What do you think about splitting up nutrition and farm?
Well, there are people more on top of it than me, but I would think long-term to keep your votes together is a much better idea so you can get a farm bill through in the future, because you got a declining farm population, and I like it tied to the food bill.
What's the matter with Washington?
Out of money. It's broke. Larry, we're so overspent, and now everybody's looking at how do you cut. It used to be what compromise is, they'd spend $1 billion on your side, we'll spend $2 billion on our side. Well, let's compromise at $3 billion. Yeah. When everybody gets everything.
Yeah.
Well, you can't do that now, and that's really the difficulty.
Governor, there are so many people in this United States that are so down on the people representing us back there.
Well, it's a tough time, and you got very partisan because each side has a very different answer. Generally, the left says we should have higher taxes and we should have more government services, and the right saying we should have lower taxes, more private growth, but lower taxes generally means less services. And that is where you got this big debate, and neither side's really willing to concede as to which direction the future of the country goes.
There's not too many people that want to go back there anymore. Do you still want to?
Well, I don't go back any more than I have to. I am very happy being at home.
What about as president?
We'll see what the good Lord has planned. I'm fully occupied here in Kansas.
I see. You talked about beating Texas as a college. Now you're going to have to beat a Texan, because I think he's running.
Oh, he might. Rick Perry's a good friend of mine. I tried calling him the other day, thanking him for his years of good service. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Governor, thanks for stopping by with us.
Thank you, Larry.